Mike O'Mara, Radio Entertainment. You can listen to the Mike O'Mara Show at MikeO'MaraShow.com.
Let's get started.
It's the Mike O'Mara Show with Mike O'Mara, Oscar Santana, and Rob Spiewak. Now, here's Mike.
Hi, everybody. Hey, starting a brand new feature on the Mike O'Mara Show. We'll do this periodically. By the way, Osaka, Japan, Oblong, Illinois, Cabot, Vermont, Osage City, Kansas, Mustang Ridge, Texas, and Donostia, San Sebastian, Spain. This feature is called Would It Be Appropriate Today? And that's when I will play various clips, comedy clips from around the world. And, if the hands go up in the air, because I think I've demonstrated that my spidey sense of being 63, perhaps I'm losing my awareness of what's appropriate. I've certainly made a career out of walking the line. I fancy myself knowledgeable. So today we take you back.
It's an ever-changing line, though. So I know it's a curious thing.
We take you back to 1974 and a movie that featured some very, very significant future stars, most notably Chevy Chase. This does not involve, well, it might be Chevy Chase, but this is from a movie called The Groove Tube, 1974, and this is a Coco the Clown show. And I just will play this just for the sake of discussion. If you put your hands up and say that's quite enough, we will say that's enough.
All right.
And this is a clip from a movie, which was really just a conglomeration of sketches.
Yeah.
And ladies and gentlemen, I give you the Coco Show from the Groove Tube and our comedy feature, Would This Be Appropriate Today?
Oh, you know what the magic monkey says, boys and girls? It's make-believe time. That's right. And you know what that means. All of the big people in the room have to leave. That's right. They can't take part in make-believe time. Only the little people. So if you're over 10 years old, we want you to leave the room so that the little people can take part in make-believe time.
Full clown makeup on.
Now we're going to play the music for make-believe time. And by the time that music is over, I only want the little people
monkey
in the room,
puppet
right?
with him.
Okay, play the music, Mr. Music Man. There it is now. Okay, are all the big people
1974.
Oh, there goes David's parents. Goodbye. Oh, there goes Mary Lou's parents. Okay, bye.
Nearly
okay,
40 years
that's the end
ago.
of the music. Are all the little people here for make-believe time? All of the big people are out of the room? Okay.
So he puts the monkey down. Now the puppet is walking over to another side of the room. Puts the monkey down. Takes his nose off. He's getting out books. He's getting out some books.
Now I have a request here from Vicki Ulanette of Fort Wayne. She asks for page 47 of Fanny Hill by John Cleland.
Now he takes out a cigarette. He's lighting a cigarette.
I remember this now.
I lay down then upon the couch, and Charles finished undressing himself, revealing to my eyes that column of delight whose impatient gestures signaled the prelude to love's ecstatic union. Urged on by consuming passion, we were quickly joined in soft embrace, his hands exploring the fiery, moist territory whence derived my intoxicating pleasures.
Takes a drag.
Most readily, I obeyed my love's soft-spoken command to alter my recumbent position that he might gain swift entrance.
Oh, there you go. So the question is, ladies and gentlemen, this is a clown on a kids show reading this. Would it be appropriate today?
And I
would
misspoke,
it fly
Mike,
today?
It's nearly 50 years ago.
50
today.
years old.
Yeah,
that is 50 years old. And I think that from the recognize the real, I think that's Chevy Chase.
It could be. It could
I
very
think
well
that's
be
Chevy
it.
Chase that's doing it, but I don't know.
I don't think that. I think you can still do this gag on a dark comedy.
Yeah, like
on
it would play on a Saturday Night Live.
Well, I'm glad
think.
you said that, so let's continue.
But how can I describe the overwhelming bliss which swept through me as the delicious velvet tip divided the gates of pleasure and the ivory shaft insinuated itself to its furthest penetration,
Jesus.
only to withdraw and plunge again and again.
That you could not do.
No, it gets a little more graphic, doesn't it?
No, no,
That
you can't do
could
that.
not do.
You can't
But
do that.
I remember being a kid and being able to sneak into that and watch that.
Was it a rated R
And-
movie then?
Oh, it was hard R.
Hard
If
R,
not,
yeah.
It was
Then I
a
think
hard
that-
R.
Maybe the rating system hasn't changed that much.
So that's
Are
a
you
good.
saying it
you know
can't
what?
happen, or it can't?
No, I'm
can't
saying
air?
that I sometimes look at something that to this day makes me crack up.
Yeah.
In its wonderful simplicity of pure comedy that is just
The
funny
language,
and
the language remains strong, but I don't think the concept is cancelable.
okay.
Yeah.
I
That's
think
what I was
there
curious.
are, I guess there are bits akin to this in 40. This is 40.
Yeah.
Where the guy, like, you can see Paul Rudd walking in a room, and then he does like a whole bit, an adult bit to kids,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Where he's like talking about his marriage and how relationships are terrible, something along those lines.
Yeah.
Right.
He doesn't talk about the velvet tip.
No, but you
by
don't
the way,
know
well,
about that.
by the way, I have 2 minutes left in this, and well, I'm going to continue to
All
play
right.
it.
Very good.
Thoroughly inundated by the tides of pleasure which flowed forth from these violent actions, I yielded up the last vestiges of resistance, giving myself entirely to the rapturous rhythm which carried us all too quickly over love's crest and left us exhausted and joyous upon the shore.
Yeah, not appropriate.
Well, that was an excellent request, Vicky. Hope you enjoyed it. Now we have another request here from Kippy Pratt of Springfield, and he asks for page 43 of Philosophy in the Bedroom by Marquis de Sade. I see we're running a little late, and I'll get to this tomorrow, but I do want to make a special announcement. It seems a boy from Newton let his parents stay in the room during make-believe time, or at least it was his mother, because she called the station, and it's a good thing the management doesn't watch the show because they thought it was a crank call. But I'm only mentioning this to tell you that really it's very important that you make sure the big people leave the room during make-believe time, because if you don't do that, the management will catch on to what we're doing, and we'll have to go off the air, and I won't be able to take your requests and so on. So really, please, it's very important. Make sure the big people leave the room during
He's
make-believe
so
time.
sensible about it.
Now, as I said, we'll get to this tomorrow when we'll have more time. We'll get to the end of the show now. You can call the big people back in the room. Jerry, you want to hit the music?
Well, boys and girls, it looks like that's the end of our show. Hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you again tomorrow. And don't forget, boys and girls, to brush your teeth. That's very important. Bye-bye, boys and girls. Bye!
The Coco Show.
The
ladies
Coco
and
Show,
gentlemen.
yeah.
Do you
Oh,
think the
childhood
people
memory.
that say that they're out of touch, and this is an honest question,
All right.
and we have a little bit of an older audience, so this maybe will resonate with them. There's a level of saying, I don't know what's PC anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And that's an easy, I think we've all said it in one way or another, especially in broadcasting. But there's also a different way of looking at it and saying, I don't like what's PC anymore. And that's what some people say when they
I'm
say.
on the fence with that. There are, that's a gray area for me, because there are multiple times where I will be on one side with one argument and on another side. I don't think it's to me they're just many shades of gray as far as what you can do and what you can say and what's offensive and what's not offensive. And I think that things that in the past I found funny, I completely and totally understand how they don't resonate today, but there are also moments where I say to myself, oh, come on. Like lighten up, Francis. Really lighten up and just let people relax. One of the reasons I think
Case by case basis, really.
but I also think one of the reasons we're tearing each other's throats out are because of language and there's such hypocrisy with it. There's so much hypocrisy out there where depending on your point of view, oh, look what this person that thinks differently than I did said, but yet one of my comedians can get up and talk about things. It's very, very gray. It's very difficult.
I think comedy's a different genre to even analyze. I'm saying what we say in our everyday lives outside of these microphones, where I've had multiple conversations with people, and I've had to learn as well.
Sure,
I'm not beyond opening my mind and being educated.
Potty mouth is what you are,
and
you're a troublemaker.
Like for me, I think it's a fascinating time because and I'll give you the best example for kids, right? So let's look at like the overall social dynamics of kids. We learn the behaviors of our parents. We learn the behaviors of our environment, right?
Yeah.
We are a product of our environment, and in certain cultures, there's certain ways of demeaning one's manliness, for example. And I have seen in real time, not our Bolivian culture, we have our own issues, but in other cultures, somebody use that typical like, oh, why aren't you a real man? But use
what's your point, Nancy? I'm sorry. Just kidding.
Well, I mean, that's exactly what I'm talking about, right? In that same vein.
I know.
Where
trying to have a little fun.
No, but this is an honest conversation where I've seen this happen in real time, and then the same person will use it in mixed company,
right,
like at their high school or middle school, and then they wonder why they're getting such backlash.
Well, the most recent pop culture example would be Tiger Woods handing Justin Thomas a tampon.
Yes.
When he outdrove him.
Yeah.
And it went away. And that, by the way, I think that's how you judge it. Based on the hurtfulness of it and everything. It was juvenile. He took a little crap for 24 hours and then it went away. Because
am
that's
I the
exactly
only one
what
who
it
saw
was.
it as a courtesy? I mean, he might have needed it.
It was a juvenile prank.
Yes.
And between jocks, it was over. I mean, he dropped it and they moved on. But social media had a moment. Now, I judge the level of offense based on how long something like that lasts. I don't think there was much more fallout from that after that. But at the same time, I'm sure there's a subset of people in this country that would love to have greater fallout for something like that. And, was it particularly funny? Not really. And was it particularly inappropriate? A little bit. But that's it. That's why. That's the way it goes.
But so that's your personal opinion, or that's how you feel because of the way that people responded to it?
I think that my personal opinion would be that was I based my opinion on how people responded. Yeah. I think if that was something really egregious, it would probably last longer. I don't think it matters at all. It's two jocks doing something stupid,
right?
And I think most people looked at it that way. That's my opinion. I don't. What do you?
I saw that, and I thought he was an idiot for doing it because, regardless of it being juvenile, with his checkered past and the way that he's like had to wear the scarlet letter for the infidelity, the multiple affairs, the lies, all of that. Like, why would you even let that lens fog up and do something stupid like that? And then two. It doesn't matter who's doing it because it's not them that's going to be offended or us that's going to be offended personally. It could be a whole different subset of customers for his sponsors,
his brand. Yeah, I like to think of the fact that he thought ahead. That's not a spontaneous thing. He had to bring it. He had to bring it with him.
A premeditated bad bit.
Yeah, and I think that's funny.
Yeah.
The thought of that is funny to me. The behind the scenes, but it really is a case by case basis. And it is a blurry line at best. And I like your notion of letting sort of society decide what's too far. If it sticks, it sticks.
And it's interesting, as I speak to Jeff Bezos over here, that you brought it into a financial area where he's thinking about his brand and his customers.
Well,
that's
he's
interesting.
not.
You're looking at it like
not.
a GM would look at it.
He's clearly not.
Yeah, I mean, I'm
that's
talking
his bottom
about.
line, yeah.
Take yourself out of that. How did you feel? I mean, I looked at it as a dumb jock doing something.
I think
dumb.
I don't even
silly.
I don't even classify him. I don't even have that jock lens, Mike. I think I literally look at him. I was like, that's a bad bit. My personal opinion. It's not even clever. This is something that
It's not clever. No.
it was such a lazy attempt to like, I guess, break balls.
Yeah.
And like, it wasn't worth it. That's the way I look at it.
Yeah, well, yeah, it probably wasn't, but he caught some flack because maybe he didn't. I don't know. You think he's naive enough to know the cameras wouldn't see that? I don't know. Maybe sometimes after they hit and they walk, the cameras go off them and they move on to something else. So maybe he didn't. That could have been the case. But anyway, bad bit.
Yeah,
bad bit with that. But that's the most recent thing.
Yeah.
But at the same time, when you look at my favorite comedian of all time, George Carlin, and you look at his old stuff holds up.
Mm-hmm.
His old stuff is delivered in such a way where it's just funny. And if you are offended, any group that's offended, you're going to be offended by George Carlin. And I think George Carlin was trying to do. Comedy is so hard for people now to get up on that stage and be innovative. Everybody wants the edge. I live this world.
Mm-hmm.
I live this world as a shock jock where they want the edge. Oh, does management want the edge? Because the edge means ratings.
Right.
And the best example of the edge was Howard Stern, who went above and beyond and over the edge many times, took no prisoners, and had and was rewarded for it. And Howard got away with a lot more because Howard was more powerful, because Howard had bigger ratings.
Mm-hmm.
That's the way that roared. But the idea of, what I hate and what I've always hated is the hypocrisy. And the hypocrisy is what kills me about something. So I look at something and I literally don't know. I said, this is funny to me. Would this be funny and appropriate in today's? Because when you're talking about it, I'm the father of 3 children. I don't like the idea of doing it, but this is just silly, funny, stupid.
Yeah.
And I love silly, funny, stupid. I really do.
Let me ask you a question. I've known you a long, long time, and I've never asked you this. Back in the most shocking days of your career, the true shock jock days, it predated social media and, instant feedback and all that stuff that would make it easier to gauge where you're at an instant basis. If something goes haywire now, it's all over everything right away. What did you use as a gauge then to figure out where you were? Was it simply the intergovernment, or did you just go with your gut?
It wasn't my call. I was the second banana. That was not my call. There were things that were done that I was all in on, and there were things that were done that I created, and there were things that I went along for the ride. And there were things that personally I didn't enjoy that much, that I went along with the ride, because it was just, I don't know. I just thought it was, there's one particular, you probably remember it.
Yeah.
The Monica Lewinsky bit.
Yeah.
And I don't mind saying it now. Hate would not be a strong enough word for how I felt being up there on that. Didn't like it.
And
didn't like, not that I felt uncomfortable, just that I thought, it's gross, it's nasty.
Even at a young age, I felt that there was shocking could be entertaining, but also if it was just shocking to be shocking,
Which that's
what that was.
I thought it was.
That's weak. There's no creativity attached to it.
People went crazy.
Yeah, they did.
So I mean, it was, and that's where the line is different for everybody. But as far as comedians are concerned, I just think that sometimes you gotta chill out. When you've got I think our society right now, you have more comedians and more people in the world of making people laugh that are fighting battles with certain people, that it just makes it sad. And we're out there. I have never, if I sit there and I dwell on it, I get so messed up in the head, because I really believe that you should be sensitive to your fellow man.
Yeah.
You should lift people up. You should not try to hurt the people that are hurting. And at the same time, having a laugh is not the area where you throw your darts. You throw your darts at people that make policy and people that do that, and work your ass off for that. But let the comedians have a little wider berth.
I think you can still be funny. And what's on Sirius? It's Netflix is a joke radio.
Yeah.
it's all just bits from Netflix comedy specials. And there are some bits where I'm like, whoa, that was a little over the line, not because I'm prude, but like I can't believe they're playing that. But I know what I'm getting into on that station. Right? The only backlash we've seen as of late for comedians has been Dave Chappelle.
Yeah,
true.
I mean, that he's the one that fought the battle with that. One thing, if you listen to any of the comedy networks where there's stand-up, you realize just how skewed is the world of stand-up comedy from New York City. How many of these guys are from New York?
Yeah.
How many are from New
York?
It's amazing to me. How many guys are there? So I was coming over here, and I know which is, it's pretty stunning when you think about it.
Where's Bert Kreischer from? Bert.
I'm not sure.
Right?
I'm not sure.
I got to figure that out.
Bert?
Yes.
I need more. I don't know the name.
Yeah, he's one of the most popular comedians in the world.
Inappropriate.
Oh, that's what
I'll tell you, one of the greatest Inappropriate bits and one of the funniest bits ever created. I think it put Funny or Die over the top. I think it made Funny or Die, and that's Between Two Ferns with Zach Galifianakis. And he does a segment with Natalie Portman that is so inappropriate, but so funny. And she plays it so perfectly that,
But the strategy there, I think, is no different than comedy has been for literally centuries.
Oh, it's an old bit.
Is taking someone who is important or viewed as important and knocking them down. It's the same thing
100%.
about attacking the government. It's the same thing about, why are there so many funny jokes about golf? Because golfers take themselves seriously, you know, and it's deflating that sort of notion of that. And
if you really want to see a funny bit in a movie, there's a movie and you want to make have fun, a comedy about golfers. It's a movie called Falling Down.
That is funny. I love
check
it.
out the scene where he's walking across the fairway. This is my golf course, and then the guy has a heart attack. It's just will slay you.
Is that the golf movie with the gopher?
No.
No.
By the way, speaking of that movie, we didn't talk about this that much after the Super Bowl.
Oh, the commercial?
I thought that those Caddyshack commercials were as sucky could be.
I agree.
I thought they were. They just weren't. It just didn't land. It didn't land because you know why it didn't land? Caddyshack and the script is not a good script. Not even close to a good script. The only thing that makes Caddyshack work are the people playing the roles. Rodney, Bill Murray, Chevy Chase,
Ted Knight
playing those roles. Ted Knight. Otherwise, it doesn't work.
You're right.
It doesn't work at all. And they try to. I don't know what they were going for.
Mike,
who knows? Yes.
So
Oscar.
the bit this morning from Bert Kreischer, if you've seen him on multiple podcasts, and he's just a world-renowned stand-up comedian. He's like a top 3 in the country now.
Okay.
Right? We're driving in this morning with my wife, and we don't have kids, but if we had kids, I think I'd still laugh, and I'd let it roll. But I'd probably be a bad father, maybe.
It's okay to be a bad father.
If that's the case, then I'm guilty of being the worst father.
He's doing a bit about putting his daughters to bed when he's watching them.
Yeah.
And his wife is out of town, something like that. He's got 2 daughters, apparently. And he gets home. He just wants to get them to bed and move on. And they're like, don't we have to take a bath? And he goes, no, take a horse bath. And then they're like,
he
what?
says that to his daughters.
To his daughters. They're like, what do you mean? A horse bath? You don't know what a horse bath is? And they're like, no, Daddy. And he says, we're going to have to bleep this out. He says, pits and pussy. Just wash those and then jump in bed.
That's fantastic. That's funny. That's inappropriate
It
and
was
funny.
so funny.
Yeah. It's funny.
I am like, we're on 19th Street and I'm about to roll into some cars. I'm just guffawing.
Hysterical.
Yes.
Hysterical. I'll have to check that guy out because I haven't seen his stuff.
But the way he's put that, like everybody has a routine to put their kids to bed.
Right.
He just wants to get them out of his line of sight and then get a cocktail and just relax.
We've all been there. We've all been there. There are times when you want to
Speaking of.
Yeah.
All right, 3 issues right now. We are at the transition age right now. You can offer insight to me about this.
All right.
Because, you have a son.
Yes, I do.
9, the age of 9. Did you find that was kind of a transition age as far as
a matter of fact,
respect,
I did. Yeah, that's
RESPECT?
That puts third grade, right? Is that right?
He will be. Yeah, he is in third grade.
Yeah, third grade is a transitory time. And
it is transitory, and
I remember this. Yeah.
And it's getting, it's managed, but it is still getting to the point where, it's a respect transition that's happening right now.
In what
and I'm
way?
I'm finding myself having to put the hammer down more than I should. Well, not more than I should, enough.
Yeah.
But it's really getting to a point where, all right, let me categorize it. Wanting stuff is more important than it's ever been.
Yep.
Getting frustrated with being called out on behavior is more intense than it's been.
Mm-hmm.
And getting him to do what is required of him is more problematic than it's been. And
he's challenging you.
But at the same time, we don't mess around in our house. We win. I mean, it's not, you don't give up, but you can see this is a moment. If you take the other side where you decide you don't want to hassle with it, it's game, set, and match, in my opinion. This is when the heaviness starts to come in,
Mm-hmm.
And I will tell you that it's getting to the point last night, right towards the end. I'm trying to think something about his phone in his bedroom after bedtime, and I laughed because it was right on the heels of a purchase for V-Bucks that was not authorized, a $9 push, and that's just not acceptable.
Right.
You can't do that without telling. And then the phone, and I said, oh, my God. And he's like, Dad, I didn't. I said, hey, and I gave him the Irish look, where, listen, you're not good, I'm finding that we're at a moment, and every inch of being the older father comes crashing down because I'm saying, okay, I gotta stand my ground here. It's just a transition time.
I think it's quite typical, especially with now Julia. Her transitory was a little older, and Julia, to be honest, was almost problem free as a child growing up
until
Julia Jelly
Baby.
Baby. Yeah, that was about 4th grade for her, and she bounced back from that. But we really had to put the hammer down to make that, to stop that in its tracks. But Mike, as far as when Robert started to be like a little bit more challenging towards authority and stuff, the good news is it only lasts like 10 or 12 years.
Yeah, it's something where, and the dishonesty factor.
Sure.
The boundaries aren't tested with direct confrontation nearly as much as they are what they can get away with.
There is a comic.
Oscar, be prepared if you ever go through this.
Well, I'm just going to beat him.
I remember. No, don't do that. I forget the comic who said it, but there was a comic who said he had like a young kid, and he said, I watched him discover lying. And he said, you mean I can just say something that isn't true?
Isn't that where the transition for human beings happens?
Yes.
As soon as dishonesty is rewarded, which it is for human beings.
It's not even just rewarded, but accepted.
Accepted.
Yeah.
In their own minds.
Exactly.
We don't accept it, obviously, but, any fantasy you harbor, and look, if there are exceptions, drop me a line. I would love to hear it. I'd love to hear how you deal with it. If there are exceptions to the rule about the honesty factor, I will welcome it. But I think it's when, the pivot, the great pivot. Because if you think about us as creatures, right? What is the worst thing human beings do? They do something horrible
Podcasts.
and they do something horrible and they lie about it.
Yeah.
And then it's degree, right?
So easy.
It's degree.
It's so easy to bust people though, especially.
Oh, it's very easy to bust
right
people,
now,
but it's not essential to bust
No,
people.
look, if you ever have pro tip for everybody at home.
Yeah.
This is for kids, adults, whatever. Who cares? If you're smart enough to run your home router, which everybody thinks is daunting, it's not. You literally log in with a password on the back of it. The company gives you everything. When you log in, if you really want to see what your kid's looking at, or your wife, or your husband, whatever, use those credentials on the back of your router, log in, and you can see everybody's activity.
Mm-hmm.
So for kids, are you up late? What's your usage? All of that. Those tools are given to you by every big cable provider, internet provider, ISP, whatever, in the world. And you get to use those. And I've seen them used at my sister's house in real time when they shut everything down at 11, or my brother-in-law is going through the browser history of his son or daughter and make sure that they're not doing anything, or doing some .ru transition.
Have you ever done that, Rob?
I never have. I've looked at their history on their computers.
Or they're not buying meth from Canada, right?
Right.
So, I think
the tools are there. That's
the
a very
tools
good
are
point.
so they're there. They're in front of us. So I remember when I was a kid, it was like the third degree to my brother and sister. Did you call so and so? You couldn't call the phone company and get your phone records. Forget about that.
Right. Yeah, I changed the password for PayPal, and I'm like a sting operation. I'm all proud of myself. I fixed them now.
No more fee bucks.
That's right.
Yeah. He can't now. Once I do that at my computer, he can't do it anymore. Right?
He's got to put the correct credentials and authorize that device.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. All right. So no fuss, no muss. But I like the ideas that you have, and I might need a tutorial.
A full
on that
dashboard of everything that's gone on.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. That's wonderful. I like that. Notice the way Rob and I both said the same way. That ladies and gentlemen, we're not going to give a fuck about this.
Well,
we're not going to do
it. Thank God I'm past it.
Right. You wouldn't do it if you weren't past it.
Well, I did.
No, you might have done it. You might have done it during the Dillinger era.
Yeah.
The Julia Jellybean.
And I did these spot checks on their history. I did check on it. I didn't have to go deep enough that it was going to be. But
it sounds to me what Oscar's talking about is that they've got the system
where
they can sit at their laptop, go in there, and they do it all the time, and they know exactly what's going on.
You see all the transactions, but you see all the history.
Mm-hmm.
That's good. I like that. I like that indeed. I think that's a wonderful idea.
Carla comes in and says, "Why is he watching so many videos about women in bikinis fishing?"
So we're trying. We're also doing a little healthy diet thing now because we're cutting down on sugar.
Yeah.
And most kids, especially right around Valentine's Day or Halloween, sugar becomes a part of that. He's not out of control with that, but he is a growing boy and he's sprouting and he's getting hungry. The other night, we put him down to bed and he's walking. Carla puts him to bed and he's backing into the bedroom. And she looks, and behind him in his pajama, he's got his shirt off and his pajama bottoms. And tucked into his pajama bottoms, right at his waistline, are 2 slices of bread.
That's hilarious. That is a pro.
It's like I've got a prisoner.
Pro tip,
I've got
O'Mara.
He's calling his friend saying,
playbook.
He's calling his friend saying, "Yeah, I got the carbs. I got him.
Exactly.
I got the carbs."
He'd never do that with a protein, but a carb, baby, absolutely. If he could have gotten a cinnamon roll in there, he would have done that too. So anyway, kids say the diet is safe. All right, I want to do this when we come back, and I'm kind of restructuring. If you like your news in our second segment, we're doing it the third now, because I want to talk about the NFL. Been following the offseason, and I have a very unorthodox idea for the National Football League. For those of you that follow the offseason, which seems to be more and more every year. We'll be right back.
TMOS traverses the internet and boldly goes into new territory.
Podcasting as we know it will be changed forever as TMOS brings you the future now.
It's the TMOS TikTok Takeover.
Catch the unrivaled comedy on the go, live as it happens.
Laughs tailor-made for your busy lifestyle.
It's the TMOS TikTok Takeover. Technology,
synergy,
and all the your pants hilarity that you've come to expect from TMOS.
It's TMOS streaming live on TikTok. Watch it.
It's about damn time.
Welcome back to the Mike O'Mara Show. Looking to get your financial future organized? If you don't have life insurance yet, that should be at the top of your list. Fabric by Gerber Life is what you need. With life insurance and other family finance solutions all in one place, Fabric has great policies like $1 million in coverage for less than $1 a day. It takes less than 10 minutes to apply and then tailor your quote to fit your family's needs. Fabric was specifically designed to give parents like you affordable term life insurance. Plus, Fabric has a 30-day money-back guarantee, and you can cancel at any time. Fabric was designed by parents for parents to help you get a high-quality, surprisingly affordable term life insurance policy in less than 10 minutos. You could be offered coverage instantly with no health exam required. Protect your family today with Fabric by Gerber Life. Apply today in just 10 minutes at meetfabric.com/TMOS. That's meetfabric.com/TMOS. MEET fabric.com/TMOS. Policies issued by Western Southern Life Assurance Company. Not available in certain states. Prices subject to underwriting and health questions. Okay, I've been meaning to talk about this for a while. So, the NFL. Hi, everybody. I'm Jim Nantz. Boy, Jim Nantz, back off, my friend Jim Nantz.
He's the best.
Who made a movie reference during the football game. And it was a much older movie than he said, but come on, back off.
What was Birth of a Nation?
God, what was the movie he was talking about? Oh, now I'm going to have to
a huge
squeeze.
I'll pad for you. We'll just share mine.
What was it?
I was at the art auction at the end of the after auction.
Yeah.
And there was a drawing on paper, but like charcoal.
Yeah,
art.
yeah.
And I said, up next, and I named the artist. And I said, give me Titanic vibes. Paint me like my French girls. Paint me like your French girls, Jack.
Yeah.
And I said, anybody a fan of Titanic?
Oh no, crickets.
Crickets.
Maybe not a Titanic.
That's the worst
crowd.
feeling, isn't it?
Because it was a tasteful nude, Mike.
That's like when I said right at the beginning of COVID, I said, hey, I'm so glad I got a chance to shake all of your hands, and I really look forward to getting my COVID test results tomorrow. Crickets.
Where I should have recoiled as anybody a Titanic fan.
Yeah.
Crickets. I should have read the room right away.
Yeah.
But I went in for paint me like your French girls, Jack, because it was a topless lady.
Yeah, okay, that was a problem.
And then nothing. Mm-hmm. I said, never mind. Let's start the bidding at $40.
You see, that's one way out, but you can also, in a situation like that, double down and over-explain it. Sometimes people love seeing the awkward.
Oh, I ejected.
I don't know.
So Jim Nantz gets this crap from people during the CBS coverage of the final round of the Genesis Open, the one out in L.A.,
CBS,
Riviera.
Yeah.
CBS. Jim Nantz made a pretty bizarre movie reference. It's not bizarre. He just,
bizarre?
It was a slip of the tongue. He said, following John Rahm's birdie to stretch his lead on Sunday, Jim Nantz said, to quote a Steven Spielberg movie that came out last year, catch me if you can.
Oh,
what?
No, that
last year?
Egregious.
This movie was 20 years ago. 21 years ago.
That was 2 marriages ago.
Yeah.
To quote the current Clark Gable movie, I don't give a damn.
Get off his ass. I love Jim Nantz. Jim Nantz, by the way, national treasure. He's one of the best in the business. Not just that he was a friend of the show and is a friend of the show. I think he's the best. I think he's
not
smooth.
fair. You gotta let that pass and slide.
Yeah. Yes,
that's
give him
egregious.
He might have been thinking of the Fablemans.
So let me tell you this: the idea of the NFL. I'm watching because I care about my beloved New York Giants, and it's a very, very tricky, like many NFL teams, tricky to negotiate and navigate the offseason with franchise tags and free agent negotiations and who to pick up and who to let go, and it goes back and forth.
It's tricky.
And all of this crap about the salary cap and how much cap room they have and what. I'm not a certified public accountant. All right, I'm a football fan.
Yeah, you are.
And you know what? And I also believe that, teams that draft well and get a great player like a Patrick Mahomes should be rewarded like they were this year with the Super Bowl. I think that's fantastic. Mm-hmm. At the same time, I think you have teams that wallow in obscurity season after season after season after season. And I would imagine for those fans in those certain markets, it's got to be awfully frustrating to wait 20, 30, 40, in Detroit's case, 1 million years
of the
for their team to win.
Yeah.
So I wrote this down. Socialism in the NFL may be more fun. Here's my plan.
All right.
As opposed to all of this salary cap stuff, all right? You have tiers. You have tiers, like a flat tax, right?
Okay.
You have a flat tax with certain players that are, let's say it's an A, B, and a C category.
All right.
After a season, you grade your players. Every team gets the exact same budget. All right? And look, you're going to say this is killing capitalism. Isn't it a little silly that these salaries are to a level now where, it's more than these guys will ever need in their lifetimes? I think that's fair. And you can still have a tier structure where it's more than they will ever need in their lifetimes, but everybody gets that tier structure.
I see.
So now hold on, Mr. Capitalist, before you continue. I think what if every year,
yes,
two things happen. You get to keep the guys you like, all right? You keep the guys you like, and then after that, everybody starts with the money that's left over.
How many players are they allowed to keep?
Well, the roster, like a roster of players. And then every team every season starts with the same amount of money. Every team starts with the same amount of money.
I'm sorry, are you done with this fantasy?
Perhaps.
Okay.
Perhaps I haven't thought it through totally.
$1 million.
That's what we start with. $1 million. Because you'd have Patrick Mahomes. Great season.
Yes.
We designate Patrick Mahomes as our A player
for the next
10 years.
The franchise
tag. Hold on. Next 10 years, we'd know franchise tag is only for a season. So you actually designate Patrick Mahomes as our A player for the next 10 seasons.
Okay.
So you've got $400 million you got to give Patrick Mahomes because an A player gets $40 million a year.
Yeah.
But if Patrick Mahomes starts to suck wind, you're saddled with that.
Yeah.
And they can still leave. If they don't like the term, they can still leave.
What about a variant where every, say, July 5th, because we get the 4th off anyway, every July 5th, all teams have to draft a brand new team?
What?
Okay. Why don't you stay out of this? All right.
I'm so sorry. I thought you had something serious.
No,
to add
is it
to the
really that
conversation.
different from the system that already exists?
It's a two-sided market.
Salary cap.
It's a two-sided market. You're looking at it from the owner's perspective and the team's perspective. Some players just don't want to stay, and if they don't want to stay, you can't keep them there. They can, there's a contract in place, but
if you have a 10-year contract and you've signed it, you've chosen to stay.
You can, Mike. These contracts are not ironclad. It goes both ways.
Yeah, but I'm saying that's the thing. I'm just talking about the confusion of cap space and
you want to make it easier.
The numbers are not perfectly lined up for me when you talk about cap space.
How do you? And I'm going to be very transparent here. I know the cap. The cap. You know what? I don't know enough about the cap to understand and
it's confusing.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not this is what I understand about any salary cap in any league is it's supposed to keep a team within a certain budget.
So they can't buy the championship.
So they can't buy the championship.
Right.
So if they go over, they are penalized in a monetary way, and that's supposed to keep some sort of parity across the league.
All right, let me read this comes from Bleacher Report, I believe.
Yes.
All right. Says the salary cap rules are some of the hardest things to keep track of in football. Contracts aren't always clear, that's the part I have trouble with, on how much of a hit certain teams are taking in regards to cap space, and it can be difficult for fans to keep track of. Well, what is this all designed for? It's designed for the fans. It's designed for the people that pay the salaries of these players and get these owners richer. That's the point. So make it so it's a little easier to understand.
Give Marco the headset in the other room, our young buck from AU. That's a sports fan.
Marco is here today.
I know
Marco wants in on this discussion.
Well, I figure that he's got to know more than we know, for God's sakes. What do you know about the salary cap?
Before he goes on, Marco, a salary cap is essentially an agreement between, hey, I have old eyes, an agreement between the league and players that places a limit on the amount of money a team can spend on salaries for players. The NFL uses a hard cap, meaning that no team is allowed to exceed the cap limit for any reason. All right. That's all.
Young blood. What say you?
Okay, so I'm a lot more familiar with the NBA salary cap than the NFL.
okay.
And so
the NBA also has a hard cap, but if you go over it, you pay what's called a luxury tax.
Correct.
Which that's the same in the NFL, I think.
I'm pretty sure it's the owner pays $1 for every dollar they spend over the cap.
Do they use that money to buy lozenges?
Yeah.
Hey.
I need to use my money to buy lozenges.
How about you bring a water in there? Keep it on the
floor. For the all right. So
thank you,
right,
thank you, Marco. That was really great. Don't put that on your reel.
So it's a certain. Well, in a way, what I'm saying, the cap is a certain number.
Right.
Right. Let me see what it is for 2023.
Does the luxury tax, if it's paid, it goes what? To
it
the
goes
league?
into the league, into the pot, right? You're not paying it to Uncle
keep
Sam.
Parking costs down.
Well, just the overall, like just in case an elevator breaks at headquarters, like a condo fee.
We need to get this elevator fixed.
Roger
2023 NFL salary cap, all 32 teams ranked cap. I don't want that. God damn it.
Don't be fussy.
No, it's just the salary cap for the 2023 season is set at $224.8 million. That's the crap I hate. That's the account.
You know what's sad? I used to know so much more about this when Fox was in the NFL, and
it's not that sad.
That's a $20 million increase. I'd love to get Fox to talk about it.
Yeah, well, this is what's great is Fox would humor all my questions when we were younger, and we'd see each other on a regular basis. Now I just watch him on TV. And by the way, I know that he was on The Daily Show as a guest. Congratulations. He looked great. He killed. He was fantastic.
Is Trevor Noah gone from that show
Trevor Noah's
yet?
gone. They're still having the rotating cast of hosts.
Mm-hmm.
But Foxworth was on when D.L. Hughley was on, and he killed as usual. But I say this to mention that the tax itself, outside of the parity for the teams, that's just one side of the economy for the players. The players also have certain minimums and what they want, right, Mike?
Yeah, and in the players' case, it's the Howard Stern radio factor,
correct,
where there are superstars who collect insane amount of money, and then you have the second tier guys that get decent money, and then you have everybody else that kind of wallows in the
they work on
in the middle of the
commission.
pack.
And the majority, for as violent as the sport is, and this might be something you've heard in the past, the reason why and to this day, most NFL athletes are like, hey, we have an average lifespan of 3.5 years, maybe 4 if we're lucky. We don't get the endorsements at a very high clip because unless you're a superstar, people don't recognize your face because they're wearing helmets the entire time you're on the field. And in the NBA, you're on television, your face, your persona, everything's there.
Yeah.
The advent of TikTok and being an influencer, that has changed some of that paradigm. But at the end of the day, it's a violent sport, and it's more violent than basketball and baseball and
pickleball
and pickleball. Thank you, Rob, for that tipping.
Pickleball.
But overall,
such an ass.
I'm still on the side of the players where we saw this, in Buffalo this past year, where your life could end when you're out there. So give them as much as they can.
They're in the hole by 16 million, by the way, Jimmy. Buffalo. Worst team in the hole, the Buccaneers. They're $55 million over the cap. You want to know the team that's got the
Brady
you want to know the cheapos? The cheapos. The Bears have $94 million, almost $100 million of cap.
They're saving
space.
up for a stadium.
Saving up.
So, we'll keep you posted. Yeah. Giants are number 4. They've got a lot of cap space. Hope they use it.
Meanwhile,
use it wisely.
The Commanders were cited for paying under minimum wage.
Commanders are not in good shape. They've only got $8 million.
That's a shame.
Bad deals.
Yeah, that's a shame. Very bad deals. Bad deals. By the way, if you win, doesn't matter what that number is.
Yes,
it's true.
Thank you, everybody.
Learn how to win big and get the secrets on chowing down. All on this week's bonus show.
Hey, everybody, welcome back to the Coin Pusher.
That was shot on an iPhone 6.
Do I look like I don't get nauseous? Small French fries. If you're putting bundle on something, you effers, that is not a bundle.
I will have a quarter pounder and a scrote of fries.
Stuff some circus peanuts down my throat and then top it off with lo mein. I'm not getting nauseous. It's basically alcohol with lemonade. You don't know anything about that, do you?
Let's change the topic.
You can't win if you don't play, and you won't laugh until you subscribe. Win big on hilarity today at MikeO'MaraShow.com.
Please go shopping. We're on fire.
Hello, sweet nectar that I see. My wonderful
liquid
cup
IV.
of liquid IV.
Woo.
You make me feel good. You make me feel happy. You sober me up when I'm feeling crappy. Liquid IV, I love you so much. Your flavors are wonderful. Passion fruit and such. Yes, sirree, liquid IV makes me sing. And I will continue to drink it. Let the bells ring. There's no better way to maximize your day than by making sure you're feeling like your best self. Liquid IV is the category-winning hydration brand fueling your well-being, and their hydration multiplier just may be the one product you're missing in your daily routine. In just one stick, you get 5 essential vitamins and 2 times faster hydration. You're going to love it. Before a workout, after a workout, before you feel run down, if you feel run down, after a long flight, after a long night. Liquid IV, premium ingredients, non-GMO, free from gluten, dairy, and soy, and they have donated 25 million servings in over 50 countries around the world because they care about our planet. The best way to start your day. Be like me, drink Liquid IV. Grab Liquid IV in bulk nationwide at Costco, or you can get 20% off when you go to liquidiv.com and use promo code TMOS at checkout. That's 20% off anything you order when you shop Better Hydration today using promo code TMOS at liquidiv.com.
From the 4 corners of the World Wide Web and into your digital device, it's what you need to know. This is the homepage.
This is the homepage, ladies and gentlemen. We start today with a pretty rare occurrence, and it hasn't happened in years, but the Rolling Stones are working with the Beatles, the remaining Beatles. Sources say Paul McCartney has recorded bass parts for the Stones' upcoming album, and Ringo Starr is expected to play on it too. The Stones have been working on the album for years, which means that it will also include the work of original drummer Charlie Watts, who died last year. It'll be their first album of original material since A Bigger Bang in 2005. And you know anything about this, musicologist?
Been a long time since A Bigger Bang. I didn't know it was that long ago. Well, I mean, they lost a bassist, they lost a drummer. Mm-hmm. There was 2 floating around. I don't know if this is going to be anything more than a gimmick. Ringo's style does not really mesh with Rolling Stones style drumming. So I'll be pleased to hear them do new music. Their last album, Lonesome and Blue, which was all blues covers, was fantastic. I loved it. So
all right,
we'll see what they have.
Tough for them to churn out crap, especially when it's been a long time.
Yeah,
you know?
And it's got to be sad to try and finish an album without Charlie, who was like the heart and soul of the band.
And I think that's why it's kind of good that they bring in Ringo Starr.
Yeah, and they go way back. There's a song that the Stones did in like 63 or 4 called "I Want to Be Your Man." That's a Lennon-McCartney song. So they hung out back in the day.
Okay.
So I'm curious to see how this works out.
I feel like there's like a ton of Eiffel Towers back in their day.
What do you mean?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Going to France?
Look that up at home. Not safe for work.
No.
Yeah, you guys are prudes. There's no way that you don't know that.
You
don't know that?
Oh, man.
When you look
guys
it up, you're going to laugh.
me.
You would. I just murdered. Yeah, but nobody
Really?
got the... Pony got it.
Yeah, you did murder. You murdered the momentum of the show.
Sorry.
I have to know. Text me immediately.
Okay.
Yeah,
I can't move on to the next story without.
Yeah.
All right.
Not safe for work.
All right. I
NSFW.
have to know. I have to know immediately.
Okay.
Yes.
Otherwise, I won't be able to continue. Sometimes I just want knowledge. I want knowledge before I can possibly continue.
And I
Give
feel
me
bad that
with
both
what?
of us don't know. Because you know what, Mike? We're hip.
No, we're not.
The
Rob.
kids love us.
We truly are not.
No, we
are
get
not.
jiggy.
But I'm certainly, someone who likes a good sexual reference.
Sure. I think we all do.
Just trying to figure out, is it groupie related?
Yes.
Yeah, you high five, and it looks like the Eiffel Tower.
Thank you.
Oh, thank you, Pony. Now I get it.
I'm still out. I don't know.
Do you want me to call you and tell you into your ear?
We'll draw you a picture.
Please don't draw. Nothing that can be saved. It's a.
Think about it.
It's a group sex deal.
Yeah, it's two men, one woman, or it could be whatever you think it's the whatever works for you.
grooves. Yeah.
Yes. And then you do a high five, dude. Let's do a high five.
I'm not sure I'm all into this.
Eiffel Tower.
Yeah. After, all is said and done.
I need more information.
Imagine there's a woman right here.
Okay.
As I am right now.
Yes, Eiffel Tower.
Like you're doing that?
Yes, yes.
You're congratulating each other.
All right, Pony. Okay, Pony. Calm down.
This is the most awkward explanation we've ever had on the podcast.
You know why? Because of him, Pony.
It's my job.
They're congratulating each other. Like the building in Paris, the Eiffel Tower.
Your wife is younger. She has to know what that is.
No, she doesn't. And you take that back.
Well, I'm just saying, like,
nothing good can come from that statement.
All right, I'm looking it up online, and obviously the pigs have not inundated this because it's all simple Eiffel Tower reference.
Beautiful structure right in the middle of Paris. I believe it's on the right bank, Mike.
I'm going to put sex after it.
Eiffel Tower sex?
Put that in the chat GPT.
Yeah, put that in go to Reddit.
All right, it's a sex position.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
All right, I never knew. Now I do. Okay, I can move on.
Thank
now
you.
I know. Thank you very
Sorry.
much. Here's a guy that knows what we're talking about. Bernie Sanders.
Yes.
He isn't just angry with capitalism. He also has no patience for your silly TikToks, especially your dance videos. A woman named Taylor Champ was making a video with a doorman on a sidewalk in New York City.
Yes.
Blocking that sidewalk just as Bernie was trying to get by.
I saw this video.
Bernie I didn't see it yet.
It's
Bernie
funny.
didn't smile. He didn't join in. His resting grump face didn't change for an instant. But to his credit, he also didn't make a fuss. He just went around them.
Yeah, and then he he did an Eiffel Tower.
I just came from the hotel doing an Eiffel Tower with Senator Patrick Leahy. There's a guy. You know what? I would love to get the Senator Patrick Leahy comment of the week. If you want to hear a guy that sounds his age.
Oh, really?
Oh, my
Okay.
God.
Why does it smell like Ben Gay?
Yeah. This is where I wish you could look it up, Rob, and play one for us right here. That's okay.
Pass more salon paws over here.
Rihanna had the largest streaming week of her career in the U.S. last week because of her Super Bowl halftime show. That's why they do those.
Yep.
She had a total of 166.13 million streams, which was a 156% increase from 65 million the week before. The most streamed song was Umbrella with 9.53 million streams, followed by Lift Me Up from Black Panther, Wakanda Forever. Then there was Diamonds with 8.44 million. She also became the 7th artist in the last 50 years to have 5 albums in the top 50 on the Billboard 200 albums chart. So good time to be Rihanna with the new baby on the way. I think congratulations to her. Not my cup of tea. Anyway, the push to make a 4-day work week the standard has now picked up steam in recent years. The world's largest 4-day workweek pilot program has wrapped up. It took place over 6 months. It was in the UK, but it involved researchers from around the globe, including Boston College and the University of Cambridge. 61 companies participated. Nearly 3,000 employees were involved. The companies could choose how they structured it, like giving an extra day off per week or reducing their working days in a year to an average that averages out to 32 hours a week. So it wasn't even 40 hours crammed into 4 days. The only requirement was that they could not cut salaries or benefits. The workers would get 100% of their pay, and in exchange, they deliver 100% of their usual work. In the end, it was a resounding success for employees and employers, and it wasn't just about less working hours for the same money. 15% of the employees who participated said no amount of money could convince them to go back to working 5 days a week.
Oh, my God.
Mike, let us go live to the floor of the Senate.
Okay, Patrick Leahy.
Recognized. Mr. President, I brought a lot of bills to the floor here. This is the last one I am bringing to the, I brought to the floor of the Senate, but it's one that we have to act quickly on, or we're going to be closing down our government. This bill provides.
I don't think
can't
that
be
we are
ages.
electing.
$1
I don't think that our elected officials are too old.
No, I don't either.
Truly don't. Rob,
Yes.
10. Way to go.
Thank
Way
you.
to go. I give you a lot of grief on this show. That is a home run. Rob Spiewak,
That
ladies and
guy.
gentlemen.
I am like Eiffel Tower in celebration about
So
that.
Grandpa Simpson is up there.
That's right. Shaking his fist.
Yes.
Wow. Oh, my goodness. Workers, by the way, regarding this work week, reported a lot of benefits, including better sleep, stress levels, personal lives, mental health. The companies reported that their revenue stayed broadly the same during the 6-month trial, but went up 35% on average when compared with a similar period from previous years.
And a lot of them said that it was great to get tanked on Thursday night.
They also dealt with less turnover, fewer sick days, less burnout. Of the 61 companies, 92% said they were continuing the 4-day work week, even though the trial is over. And 18 of them said they've already made the 4-day shift permanent. That leaves 5 companies. 2 of them are going to continue experimenting. That's when you know you're screwed.
Yeah.
If you're working for the, we're going to take another look at you.
We don't want to rush into it.
Only 3 or 5% say they're done with it and will return to 5 days. Get me the name.
Yeah, you know who's going to do it, Mike, is the 911 service for Washington, D.C. They're going to 4 days
a week.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Now, a little something for all of you. There are people who love Disneyland.
Yes.
There are people who hate Disneyland. Hi, everybody. And people who like it once in a while. But after an exhausting 12 hours at the park, you're good for a year or 10. Then there's 50-year-old Jeff Reitz, who just earned a Guinness World Record for visiting Disneyland 2,995 days in a row.
Ooh.
Oh, my God.
That is 8 years, 3 months, and 13 days. His run stretched from 2012 to 2020. His last visit was March 13th. His last day, the park was open before closing for the COVID-19 pandemic. He was trying to make it to 3,000 and was only 5 days away. This is a while back, right? This is a full year ago.
Correct.
Yeah, at least.
But he struggled a bit during the pandemic and decided to make changes in his life. One of them was to stop the streak and just move on with his life. Jeff's record was just certified by the Guinness Book of World Records, and he said he'd love to return to Disneyland and show it off, but he hasn't decided on a return date quite yet.
This guy,
so I guess he's done.
It's giving me Forrest Gump vibes, you know?
Maybe. Yeah, could be.
I saw the video of him, and he's getting pictures taken as he walked in. Jeff is living with friends in a shipping container at the back of an abandoned cul-de-sac, just past the intersection of Waste of Space Avenue and Bag of Water Lane. He spends most days waiting in line at Best Buy for the latest video game releases and tending to his rubber band ball collection. Jeff is also known to frequent local blood banks and takes weekly visits to a local dog park where he enjoys sketching beagles. He is a life member of the Star Wars fan club, the Indiana Jones Ark Hunters, and Friends of Groot. In his spare time, he likes to creep out joggers, drink blue Slurpees, and smell his own fingers. Thank you very much. That's Jeff. None of that was true. We have to take a break.
You know,
and, we'll come back.
my dry cleaner also asked me to stop the streak. I don't know if that's related.
Stop the streak! A secret room at the Lincoln Memorial. Yes, we'll have it for you. It's a big deal, ladies and gentlemen. We'll do that when we come back. You had the pleasure of listening to the Mike O'Mara Show.
Well, I'm going to New Orleans. City of New Orleans. In New Orleans. New Orleans. Way down yonder in New Orleans. The town in New Orleans. I'm walking to New Orleans. In New Orleans.
The Mike O'Mara Show live Saturday, April 15th, 2023 at the legendary House of Blues in New Orleans.
Hi, y'all are. I'm glad for you to see me, I guarantee.
Tickets available now at MikeO'MaraShow.com.
Ain't it bitchin'?
All right, for the last minute folk, Oscar, how are we doing and how many tickets are available for our, I've been joking about it for a couple of months now, but how many tickets do we have available for New Orleans for people? Because I know people make last minute plans in the month of March to go away in April.
We have tickets available. We have less than 90 tickets available now.
So we've been flat for the whole time. So that means
I think
go ahead and get your tickets. Yeah.
Since the last time.
Yeah, so go ahead. There are plenty of tickets available.
Plenty of tickets available. Make it a trip. I just
great
literally looked
destination
yesterday
city,
and booked more hotel rooms for friends. And that I bought tickets for. Family members are coming down.
Did you go
I'm
through
excited.
Adrian?
I have my buddies down the street. The Beckers will be joining us in New Orleans. I'm very excited.
You'll be shocked. People want to do something fun. Bring your friends.
Yeah.
Bring your friends.
We sold
Join
over
us April
400
15th.
tickets already. We'd like to sell it out.
You know, Julia is coming. It's the first time she's come to one of our live events ever. So
Very,
she's very
exciting. We'll be at the House of Blues in New Orleans. Join 500 of your friends at a wonderful show. We look forward to seeing you. Here's a message from Sleep Number. Sleep is essential to your physical, mental, and emotional well-being. So what if you could know what's happening in your body while you're sleeping and how your nights are impacting your days? Well, guess what? Wow. With the Sleep Number smart bed, you can see your biometrics and how well you're sleeping with Sleep IQ technology. And you can get daily tips to help you improve your sleep and energy. Plus, did you know that 8 out of 10 couples prefer a different mattress firmness? The Sleep Number smart bed lets you adjust the firmness on each side and then change it whenever you'd like. Partner snoring? Sleep Number has a solution for that too with a FlexFit smart adjustable base. You can gently raise your partner's head at the touch of a button to help alleviate snoring. That's absolutely true. My Sleep Number setting is back to an 85, and I love it. And Carla remains at a 65. Why choose proven quality sleep from Sleep Number? So you can be at your best for yourself and those you care about most. And now discover special offers for a limited time at your local Sleep Number store or at sleepnumber.com/TMOS. Now, I think it was back, well over 10 years ago when I had my bachelor party downtown, and we ended up going to the Washington Monument and seeing these little manhole covers that had little secret chambers that had mini Washington monuments in them. And Jerky told me that it was very exclusive and very secret. And then I saw 10 pages of
we all
pictures
thought
on the
it was
internet.
Yeah, they're like land markers or earthquake markers, aren't they? It turns out there was something to do with
erosion.
Something to do with that. Yeah,
I thought when you first told us this, I was so enamored with the secret Washington.
Yeah,
that I was like,
it's very cool about it.
Maybe there's a Patriot missile battery right on the mall.
Yeah,
very
you
interesting.
don't know that.
It's very much like a Nicolas Cage movie.
Yes, National Treasure.
Which I do love those movies, so it was very
Now,
cool.
one of the things you came in today, you said that there is a basement at the Lincoln Memorial. And this isn't
heard about
secret,
it.
though, right?
It's not secret, but it has been closed off since well before 9/11. My dad has been in it.
No,
Yeah.
that is not the case.
That's what I read in the
Really?
article. Yeah.
I definitely took a date there in 2007.
Into the basement?
Really?
Yes.
Okay.
I was shocked it was available. I was like, this is amazing. At night.
It has been shut off for some time, though, is what they say. Now, here's one of the things in this article that totally blew my mind, Mike. They want this project to be done in 2026. And do you realize?
By 2026?
Yeah, that's 250 years. That means it's been 50 years since the bicentennial.
Mm-hmm.
So it's the 250th anniversary of the United States. What it is there's a basement. They call it the Undercroft of the memorial.
I should be clear here.
Mm-hmm.
What I saw, what I've seen, is what is a tunnel underneath the memorial.
Mm-hmm.
They have a picture. They have actually they have what is a cartoon-sized penny down there on display.
Really?
Yes, I'm not kidding.
Okay.
I am not kidding. Anybody that's ever been there will corroborate my story.
Uh-huh.
And like a lot of it almost felt like a quick museum, but it wasn't like I didn't go into a basement. It was almost a tunnel underneath.
Okay,
it.
so this is not what they're talking about then,
great.
because this is 15,000 square feet.
Oh,
this thing is huge.
Yes,
huge.
It's like this
it wasn't that huge.
Deep bunker column thing.
Yeah, and they've actually, it's been there so long that there are actually stalactites from water seeping down through all.
It's got dirt floors and
Haven't seen
concrete
that.
walls.
Yep.
Reminds me of the sports fan bar in Georgetown.
So they're going to start.
By the way, hanging from underneath are stalactites.
Yeah, from the water seeping through. So they're going to start construction
next month. Or the old bayou looked like that, right, Mike? You know the bayou.
Yeah.
I closed the bayou.
You did?
We were the last show at the bayou. Yeah.
Last show at the bayou, Washington, D.C.
But
sunny days. That was something back in the day. Anyway.
It is. They're going to start construction next month, and they hope to have it done by July of 2026. It's going to have bathrooms. It's going to have an immersive Lincoln Museum.
Oh,
it's going to have a gift shop.
This is great.
And this is just
some of the features underneath are pictures that the original workers drew on the support columns.
That's amazing.
They have cartoons that they drew.
That is
sketches
really amazing.
On support column by the workers who built the monument. One of the drawings depicts characters from the old Mutt and Jeff cartoon, which started running in 1907.
Yeah. It was Lincoln's favorite cartoon.
Yeah, until they were canceled in 1920.
But the thing that's so wild about it is if you think the fact...
Were they racist? I don't even know.
I'm sure it was.
I have no idea.
That's a massive, massive structure built on a swamp. So they probably had to do some amazing engineering underneath to make sure it didn't seep down in. And that's all the undercroft that does that, right?
How big
I just don't know why it's so huge. Maybe
the
to support
memorial
it.
is big. Yeah, the memorial itself is big. This is 15,000 square feet that they're going to open as the exhibit. That's pretty damn big.
It is.
It is actually fascinating that and this isn't the bit that
they had tours before 9/11. They had tours.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel lucky that I was able to propose to Shannon at the top of the Washington Monument. Thank you to Officer Jerky, as I like to call him.
And didn't you say that you say yes or you're stuck up here? Wasn't that the whole thing?
No, I didn't. My wife is not held hostage.
Yeah, it was like how Bob Hope used to treat the girls in Vietnam.
I was fortunate enough. I was fortunate enough that the elevator was working.
That is great.
But it's constant. What other monuments are constant? Like, you're done working on it, then you start at the bottom again and start over again. Like, it's always constant maintenance.
It has to maintain it, yeah.
Maintenance.
Yeah, have you ever seen the pictures where they stopped building it? I think it was for the War of 1812, and for a while, there was half the obelisk there.
Oh, wow.
And you can see where the brick changes color on
the
it.
Capitol, Mike, right now is being worked on.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
When is that going to be
seems
over?
That seems like every...
That's been 50
every
years.
Well, they got paint and...
It's the fleecing of America.
It's not the fleecing of America. The luxury
it looks like
taste.
about two levels down, this giant space underneath.
It's so cool. It's so cool. I drive by them. I see the Lincoln Memorial twice a day, and I always look at it, and I always say, that is pretty awesome.
It's still cool.
It is. But
Okay,
the
I
thing is,
figured
if
out
you
by
get
looking at the pictures what it is. The depth of it is like you would build a superstructure for a high-rise. The depth of it is for the columns, to support the structure.
Yeah,
I would pay.
But if you go to the Lincoln Memorial and don't just drive by it, it's a very, very impressive structure. I mean, it is much bigger than you think it's going to be. Lincoln himself is huge.
It's
like
a
58
must
steps.
see.
Yeah, it's gorgeous.
It's gorgeous.
It is really cool.
When I was active, I would ride my bike through there, and you just see all these tourists, and this is why people come to the city.
Yeah,
I've seen the Lincoln Memorial, been there multiple times, and on my bucket list, other than Lincoln Memorial, only one other monument I want to see.
What's that?
And that's the Eiffel Tower. There we go. Thank you.
Yeah.
It all comes full circle, ladies and gentlemen.
Lincoln did
Put
one
my
with
hand out
Booth,
like that.
I think, right before the shooting.
Yeah, it's all the different columns that got me confused. Arms, legs, akimbo. We have to take a break.
Pony says, I'll draw you a picture.
Yeah. Hey, let me show you. We'll be right back. Had a great drive to school with my kid who was talking about Harvard. Said he wants to be a lawyer. Dad, I think I want to be a lawyer. I said, why is that? He said, because I like to argue.
He could be, you know what? Kid lawyer.
Your Honor, I object. I'll allow it.
Have you been heard on a podcast? It's no time to play grab-ass, fella. It's time to get tough and call the law offices of Michael William O'Mara, kid attorney.
So an Irishman walks into a pub.
O'Mara is on the case, and you'll get the money you deserve. The Mike O'Mara bonus show is so funny, it should be illegal. Get a bonus show subscription today through the link at MikeO'MaraShow.com. Michael William O'Mara, kid attorney.
Oh, yeah, it's driving me nuts.
He knows all about the birds and the bees, but it's his opponents in the courtroom who are really
You can't handle the truth.
Twitch, we miss you.
I know.
God, I loved it when you spotlighted my kid like that. By the way, most of these promos you're hearing leading up to our goodbye for Twitch on Monday, our tribute to our friend Mark Riddell, and that's his voice you hear on most of these promos, and we thought it would be nice to play those for you, so thanks to him again. Welcome back to the Mike O'Mara Show. I love great branding. This is small, but you can see Dadgrass right there.
Yeah.
Beautifully done labels for a great product.
Who discovered it this week is Mrs. Spiewak.
Ooh.
Oh, wonderful.
Because they've got a couple new students at the school, and her days have been a little tedious. And she comes home and she says, I'm going to try one of these. And she has been so agreeable. It's fantastic.
It's like the good old days,
Yeah.
like the classic joints of grass that your folks use to spark up mellow grooves, Daddy-O. Dadgrass has old school joints that are low in THC, high in CBD, so you can chill out and lighten up the old-fashioned way. Dadgrass is legal, organic, smokable hemp that relaxes your body and mellows your mind. And if you want the toke without the smoke, Dadgrass also has CBD gummies just in this little jar right here.
Tasty.
Made with the same high-quality hemp. They're delicious, easy to dose, and the effects come on smooth. Chill out without getting stoned. It's like having a glass of wine, not the whole bottle. It's absolutely out of sight. We think you're going to love it. All Dadgrass products are federally legal for ages 21 and over and ship right to your door anywhere in the U.S. Right now, Dadgrass is offering our listeners 20% off your first order when you go to dadgrass.com/TMOS. Go to dadgrass.com/TMOS for 20% off your first order. That's dadgrass.com/TMOS. It's groovy, baby.
Sound.
We call this stereophonic sound.
Soundtown.
And don't be confused. The Lincoln Memorial has a basement, but there's no basement at the Alamo.
No.
Hey! It's from Pee-wee.
And we didn't win.
Pee-wee's Big Adventure.
Hello, Pee-wee.
Your bicycle's in the basement of the Alamo.
I remember.
It's so great.
Large Marge.
Is Britney losing her mind again, or is she just having fun?
Okay.
She did a video on the Instagram where she keeps talking about a dress that was made, and the cuts are weird. I didn't do any editing to this. She's using a put upon voice, and she also, Mike, she's back to being barefoot, and her feet look unclean.
Okay, so last week, guys, I made a dress. I was really proud. A girlfriend helped me sew it. She sent me a dress I didn't have to make myself. I can't believe it. I'm just saying. Okay, now I'm so proud. I didn't even have to make it myself. Thank you, company, for sending me this dress. So, guys, I just want you to know, if I shut down my Instagram, do not call the cops. Don't ever be a roller coaster. Never be a roller coaster.
This is the insight I have on Britney Spears.
All right.
And if you recall, I said once you put this butterfly net away
I do recall
with
this.
the conservatorship,
Yes.
there's going to be, you made your bed. Yesterday on TMZ, I watched the Nightly News, then I watched TMZ.
It's a great show, Mike. What it is, it's
TMZ,
a bunch of hard-hitting journalists
DVR,
in a
and then I go
newsroom. They
straight
talk
to
about current
Mad
events.
Money on Kramer. My
Right.
wife thinks I'm a loser, but that's what I consume myself with when I go home.
Yes.
Okay.
And yesterday they said that there was an intervention planned. I'm sorry if you have this in your youth.
I
Did you know
don't-
about
I
it?
don't
So
know, no,
they had a planned intervention this weekend.
She sounds unstable.
Yes.
Yeah.
And they catch her attorney. Like any attorney, he looks. They're like, why'd you guys, the photographer's like, why'd you guys cancel the And the lawyers doesn't say anything. There's no comment. If the attorneys are skulking around trying to create an intervention for this young lady, and I don't know if she's young anymore.
Yeah.
But this lady.
She's 62.
Then there's an issue at hand. There's an issue.
Yeah.
Yeah. And,
It's odd.
The behavior's always been odd.
Yeah.
That's
Very,
why
very
they
odd.
had the butterfly net.
Yeah, you need that butterfly net sometimes.
Yeah. And kind of vindicates a lot of people involved in her, in her orbit.
Yeah.
Right? I would
Yeah.
think so. Yeah, that's crazy.
Well, I'll tell you who's not odd and who is stable is my favorite red-headed Mac Macintosh lookalike, Ed Sheeran.
Yes.
He is coming out with a hot sauce, which is no big deal except that he wrote a jingle for it. and I like the jingle.
I love my food. That's no secret. But the older I get, the more I need spice. So we've developed a hot sauce called Tingly Ted's. I've developed this over time with some expert hot sauce makers. We've basically whittled it down to the best flavors, the best chilies. I wanted it the same consistency as ketchup, and I wanted something that took pride of place on the shelf or in the fridge that didn't just get relegated to the cupboard with all the other hot sauces. I love it. I carry it in my suitcase wherever I go. I have it on breakfast, I have it on lunch, I have it on dinner, I have it on after-show food, I have it on snacks. You can have it with anything, literally anything, except maybe not bananas. Don't do bananas. Can't wait to bring it out. I hope you guys like it. Oh, and also I have written a theme tune. Check it out. Tingly Ted makes the tongue tingle.
It's Tingly Ted's hot sauce, Mike.
What is it called?
Tingly Ted.
Tingly Ted.
Mike.
Tingly Ted.
It makes your tongue tingle.
Tingly Ted makes the tongue tingle.
I mean, now I want to pick it up.
I do too.
This is great.
I do
well,
too.
you know what makes me want? This is my rudeness.
Yeah.
When he says it's the consistency of ketchup. One of the things I don't like about hot sauce is
runny.
Watery.
How thin it is.
Yeah.
Is runny the term?
Yeah,
I just
runny.
think this is watery.
Runny.
Yeah,
It's runny.
That's not the case with Tingly Ted.
No.
Tingly Ted makes the tongue tingle.
I love a good jingle.
Yeah, a good bad jingle.
A good
right?
bad jingle. Here is something that I found helpful, and I can't wait to implement it. A TikToker says this is a good way to get past any phone tree in an amazingly large company. You know, you always have to hit 0, hit 1, hit 2. Check this out.
Time is money in my business, and when I'm waiting on hold with Expedia, American, Delta, Verizon, AT&T, they're literally wasting my time when I only have one question to ask them. This information I'm going to share with you is definitely going to save you a lot of time, and literally 90% of the time I get through in less than 2 minutes, and they help me, and I'm on my way. Let's say you call American Airlines or Wells Fargo, you call up the customer service number, you get to the main menu, and you click £0, £0, £0, and you go all the way through to a customer service rep, just like that. This little piece of information has saved me so much time and aggravation and frustration, so try it out, and it worked about 90% of the time, and only on the larger companies.
Tingly Ted makes the tongue tingle.
So £0, £0, £0
That's a hack
gets you
I
right
have
through.
not heard.
I
Boy,
can't
I've
wait
been
to
there.
try it.
I've been there recently. I hope it works. I really do.
And Mike, this last one I saved for you because you are not a phobic flyer anymore, but you're an uncomfortable flyer.
Yes.
And you don't want anything out of the ordinary on your flight that's going to upset
Precisely.
you.
Exactly.
Like this guy who thought it was a good idea, and we close with this, to break up with his girlfriend as the plane was taking off. And he was going to tell her that it's over. And this is, Mike,
That's like the maximum stress time for even normal folks.
Yes.
So
right?
the plane's about
Everybody's
to take
got
off.
a little edge at that time.
How would you like to be preparing for takeoff, and this is what the person next to you sounds like?
Hey, ma'am, where are your bags?
Oh my God.
Oh my God. All right. She's staying. Please don't leave me.
Please don't leave me.
Oh, I feel for this girl.
Oh, I do too.
Rob, you jerk.
You are.
I'm on the girl's side. I feel.
I am too. We're sensitive. Look at him. He's not. He doesn't care.
Why do you automatically assume she's not at fault? She's probably a problem. If you're going to act like that on a plane, forget it.
That's it. That's a nice warm ending to this show today. We got to get out of here.
Nobody was hurt.
We'll be back tomorrow with a brand new episode. Whew, you got me there. For Rob Spiewak and Oscar Santana, this is Mike O'Mara saying so long, everybody.
Makes your tongue tingle.
Ciao, ciao.
Want more? Make sure you check out the Mike O'Mara Bonus Show. Get it at MikeO'MaraShow.com.
Mike O'Mara, Radio Entertainment.
Hello.
You can't dance fast enough for me. Do you understand?
Okay, play it one more time. Go on, you know you want to. Play it one more time.
Tingly Ted makes the tongue tingle.
There you go. That's how we had to end the show this week. Bye, everybody.